Good morning, Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man. Reading from Our Daily Bread in Genesis chapter 18, verses 14. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Try to imagine Sarah's long wait for her hair God promised her husband Abraham, music to the childless woman's ears. 25 years during which of her age begun to make her doubtful, Sarah came up with the stopgap solution by securing for Abraham a second wife. Apparently, she figured God was going to need her help with this one. But it wasn't until the situation seemed completely impossible that the timing was just right for God to act. No one would ever doubt now that Isaac was a gift from his hand. Will God keep his promises to us? Absolutely, but maybe not like we imagine, and sometimes even in ways that will tickle us pink. Going back up into the reading, the Lord said, is anything too hard for him? At the appointed time I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. I've seen the Lord ask us that on numerous occasions. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Can the Lord not do what he said? Did he already not do it? And sometimes when I read and the Lord asks us a question, sometimes it be sounding like a dumb question. Like sometimes when the Lord asks us things like, do you not think I know how to do that? It's almost kind of like you should already know that I am the man that's capable to do that. So the Lord does ask us a few times. Actually, I've seen a lot in his word where he's like, do you not think I know how to do that? Is anything too hard for me? What we need to focus on is waiting. He said at the appointed time, he will return. When the time is right, he will do what he needs to do according to the time of life. He gave Sarah a son. Sometimes in life, we don't be ready for things, and he holds that from us until we get the information that we need. So it's not that he's not promising us anything or we've done something wrong to delay it. Sometimes things are delayed on purpose because we're so physical. We forget about the spirit, or we be so mad we don't even be caring about what's going on in the spiritual realm. But there is a fight to get us these things. There was a fight for hundreds of years for Abraham to have one son simply because the enemy already knew. This man is wise. He gonna try to get this child back to God. So sometimes we have to recall that, hey, there's a spiritual warfare going on. So there is a possibility that some things are being held up, and we still have to fight the battles on our end as well, which is easier said than lived. But going back down to the reading, this person said, imagine how long Sarah had to wait for one child that the Lord had promised her husband Abraham. It's like music to a childless woman's ears to hear you're going to have a child and you done waited over 100 decades. We still have to keep those promises that God gave us in our heart. And no matter how long it take, we're always going to be happy with that. But Sarah got impatient. She said, you know what? We can't live like this and we old. I'm about to get you a wife to have you a child with. That is not what God wanted her to do. She thought that the Lord wanted her help. A lot of the times I think that we think the Lord needs our help and he doesn't want us to do anything in certain situations. I believe he will give us the information when we need to do something, but there's moves that we make that he didn't ask us to make. He didn't want her husband to give his body to someone else. He wanted her to be patient. And at the appointed time, he was going to come back and give them a son. But even when we still do our own thing, the Lord still finds a way how to work everything together for our good. It would be easier if we would just listen to him. But being human, having our own attitudes, having our own just bodies, having our own, being able to have our own free will, then sometimes it's easier said than lived to just be like, oh, okay, I trust God. Oh, okay, I remember what he said to me. So in the times of us not getting something, we just spaz out. But the Lord said at the appointed time, according to the time of life, when it is the right time, and me, myself, just have to be more patient and just remember the Lord's promise. When we remember his promises, those are the things that keep us focused. Those are the things that keep us happy. When we continue to remember that, hey, I'm not here forever, then those are the things that help us fight more to live better lives. So Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man. I encourage you when you get time today to read Genesis chapter 18, verses 14. And always remember that at the appointed time, when the time of life is right, then the Lord will give us certain things. And we always have to remember that there is a spiritual warfare going on, so some things may be held up. But what we can learn from this message is to hold on to those promises. That is what keeps us motivated. The promises of God, the things we already heard from Him, are the things that's going to keep us on the right track. I love you, and God bless you. Have a fantastic day.